Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear YOGATXers. So happy to be here with you and sharing a bit of more yogic philosophy and theory and mindset as we move through the practices this month. And the inspiration that came through for me for today's practice is on the story, the Vikalpa, as we call it in yogic philosophy. Vikalpa are the stories that we tell ourselves about what we see in reality. And our reality is very much shaped by the stories. So we have the story of the individual, we have the story of the family, we have the story of the community, the story of the society, the story of the skin color, the story of the religion or the spiritual beliefs. And there are all of these stories that accumulate to create this perception that we see the world through. And when these stories, these vikalpas, aren't in right view and aren't based on reality in totality, they can be very damaging for the individual and for others. And this is where we have suffering. And so the desire is to move into a Suddha vikalpa, and then hopefully into Nirvi vikalpa, where we drop all of the stories and we become empty vessels that life is dancing through. So instead of being the individual being, we are simply a vessel for whatever you want to call it, source, divinity, truth, or life to move through. So this is a big concept, but I encourage you this morning to start on your back. Let's lay down on the back, relax your body. I'm going to play us a little song before we begin, but I encourage you just to lay down, take a mini shavasana, let the arms relax alongside the body, let the legs go long, and feel the earth supporting you from beneath. So no matter how you showed up on the yoga mat, no matter what the challenges or obstacles may be, just let that melt away, be here, let the body feel heavy and supported. And begin to cultivate a deep ujjayi breath, which stems from the belly up across the chest, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And also enjoy the sounds of life. I live in community, so we don't run away from our challenges, we dance with them. And just settle in. So the intention here at the beginning of the practice is to ground the body, to arrive supported by the earth beneath, allow the air to come into the breath, the air to come into the lungs. Take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. You can clasp the big thumbs, maybe straighten the legs out a little bit longer, wiggle the hips a little bit. And let's travel with the shoulders over to the right side, travel with the legs over to the right side. You could cross the ankles, take a hold of the wrist if it feels good, and look to the right. And we're just getting nice and long through the left side body. So what I encourage you to do throughout this practice is to check in. What are your vikalpas? What are the stories that you tell yourself about the world? I'm going to name a few that have been really challenging for me to move through in my path. And maybe you can relate, but there were stories in my life that I didn't realize I was even telling, but once I uncovered them, I realized there was the story that I wasn't safe in the world, that life didn't support me, that people left, that Life was painful. Let's move through center, move to the other side. And what I came to realize is that all of those things supported me. The pain supported me. The people leaving supported me. Death supported me. Challenge and obstacles, it supported my growth and my evolution. And when I was able to realize this story that I wasn't safe in the world, that it wasn't true, I was able to replace it with a story that I am safe in the world and that life supports me. And the desire eventually is to get rid of all the stories, to be okay with the unknown and just to be present with what is, and to know that we're here just for a moment in time. Come back through center, pull the knees into the chest, and just rock from side to side. Let the lower back lay down on the ground. Let the head lay. And so many of us get confused about what the practice of yoga is. What we're doing is actually called asana, which is postures. Yoga is life. Your communication with people, the way that you love, the way that you step into intimacy and sexuality, all of this is yoga. And vikalpa is there every step of the way. It whispers into our relationships, into our conversations. It's at the dinner table. It's how we buy food, what we buy, how we nourish ourselves. Let's take a hold of the bottom of the feet, open the knees up wide, rock from side to side, happy baby. And we're incredible storytellers. So if we don't really check in and sit with the mind and know that the mind itself is not who we truly are. The mind is a way to make sense of our external world, but the mind is not our highest self, and the mind doesn't always have our best interests in mind. Pull the knees into the chest, keep the right knee, stretch the left leg long, and lift the right leg up and begin to pull the right shin, the right calf, the right ankle in towards the body. But relax the shoulders, relax the muscles in the face, breathe. So yeah, it's important that we become observers in our practice as we lay here, as we breathe. Every inhalation and every exhalation mindfully moving in. We ask ourselves, what are the stories that I tell myself? I am a glorious storyteller. Do these stories serve me? Am I making decisions that I don't actually want to make based off the belief that these stories are true? Because if I don't feel safe in the world, who do I choose as a partner? Do I not take risks? Pull the left knee into the chest, extend the right leg long, and then straighten the left leg. Take a hold of the back of the leg, pull in, breathe. So just imagine if these negative stories, the stories that cause more suffering in your life, if you were able to tell a different story, what would your life look like? Without that vikalpa, asuda vikalpa, that negative, biased story that is causing suffering, how can we change the story? Pull knees into the chest. Set the feet down about hip-width distance apart. And let the knees drop to the right. Let the arms go wide or cactus. And look to your left. It's a nice passive stretch this morning, twisting. If you get lost in thoughts, you can always remind yourself breathing in. I'm aware that I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. And back through center, knees to the left, look to the right. And back through center. Bring the big toes to touch and let the knees go wide. Bring one hand to belly, one hand to heart. And we just let the hips passively open, so allowing gravity to push the hips. If you have a lot of tension here, I encourage you to bring blocks or pillows, couch cushions underneath the knees. You can pause the video. And always modify to your own body. You know, a big part of the vikalpas, if we want to get metaphorical in the yoga practice, is that a lot of our stories are based on trying to fit into other people's stories. Trying to fit into our parents' vikalpas, into our community's vikalpas, into our cultural vikalpas, the skin color that we wear, the language that we speak, into the vikalpas of our dominating religion or spirituality or our government. So same on the yoga mat. Are you trying to fit into the vikalpa of the super strong or flexible yogi? Instead, let that shit go. Do the practice based on your body. So what does your body want to do? What feels good for you? How can you modify this to find more pleasure and contentment, but still challenge? We're not letting ourselves off the hook, but we're taking care of our needs. Let's go ahead and close the knees with the hands. Take a hold of the front of the shins and take a couple of rocks forward and backward up your mat. Massaging the spine. And come on to the knees. Sitting back onto the heels. Hands resting on the thighs, and take the thumbs together, reach the arms up, shoulder blades down the back, and let's find a slight back bend here. Open the heart space, still pulling the belly in, so keep the ribs in. We're not just poking everything out too much here. Hands resting on the knees. Take the right hand over towards the right side. Bring the hips onto the left heel. Left arm stretching up and over. Look to the left and up. Take an inhale. Come down through center. Reach the left arm forward. And then over to the left side. Right arm stretches up and over as we move the hips to the right heel. Look up towards the ceiling. Get long through the right side body. Let's take an inhale. And exhale, sweep over towards the right side, hips to the left heel. One more time on each side. When you're ready, inhale through center, move to the left side. And back through center. Hands down to the earth. Let's find tabletop position. Take an inhale, let the belly drop, look forward and up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, look forward and up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Now begin to find your own movement. Inhale, belly down, look up. And then maybe exhale, find some circles with the spine. Maybe even sink back towards the heels and then move forward, but move with your own breath. Get curious. Create your own story here with your movement. There's no right and wrong. What feels good? Come back to center. Let's tuck the toes under, lift the knees just a couple of inches off of the mat, and exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. V shape with the body, hips up nice and high, pressing your chest towards your thighs. Sink the heels down as you press the palms into the earth and create some space between the ears and the shoulders. Let the head hang. And the belly pulls slightly in. So we're going to move nice and slow here. Inhale, slowly begin to walk the feet forward. Take your time.
You'll have to bend your knees as you come forward. Feet are hip-width distance apart at the front of the mat. Fold in. Bring your hands to your lower back. Make a little fist and press the fist up behind you, opening the shoulders. And you might need a strap here. If you don't have a strap, you can use a t-shirt. You can just hold the t-shirt if it's hard to get the wrists or the palms together. So you can always pause the video, modify. I encourage. Because we're in Mexico, sometimes I insert Spanish words. So disfruta la práctica. So enjoy the practice. Disfruta la práctica. Disfruta la práctica. Es tuyo. It's yours. Let go of the hands here. Inhale, rise all the way up, slight bend in the knees. And exhale, hands to the heart. Hands alongside the body, Samastiti, Tadasana. Shut the eyes down here, ground in through the feet. Let's take a moment. So just feel the earth beneath you. We've started on the ground, micro bend in the knees, and begin to draw little circles with the knees. Maybe the feet need to come closer together. So we're just making little circles. And you can even have hands on the thighs. Press into all corners of the feet. And we're slowing down so that we could tune into the subtlety of the body. You know, a lot of times, vikalpa, it's stored even in the body. When we're moving so quickly through life and we're just in our habits, we're not feeling the subtleties of our experience. Move in the opposite direction. So we want to sensitize our experience from a mental perspective, as well as a breath perspective, as well as physical. And we become masters of knowing ourselves deeply. When the dogs are in their vikalpa, that there's a car coming and they must chase it. Move in the opposite direction again. Let this be soft. Let it be enjoyable. It takes you into a trance. Maybe you dance a little bit with the shoulders. And then move in the opposite direction again when it feels good. And just find natural movement. Get curious. Curiosity is what can protect us with these vikalpas. Lots of curiosity. You can notice I'm holding my belly and my heart and kind of doing little infinity symbols here. Just getting soft with myself. So feel free to do what feels good for you. Just 2 more breaths in and out of the nostrils. Breathing in, I am aware that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I am breathing out. And come back to center. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bow forward, fold forward, fold. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to a plank position, top of a push-up. Now bring the big toes together, and we're going to stack the left hip on top of the right. Stretch the left arm up overhead. Really strong through the right palm down into the earth. If you need to drop the right knee down to modify, go for it. If you fall out of it, you come back in. And if you want to challenge, you can lift the top leg, maybe even taking a hold of the big toe. So lots of variations here. What's your story in this position? You don't need to go to the most extreme. You can be the softest. One more breath. And exhale, plank position. Come on to the left side. Right hip stacks on top of the left. You can modify by bringing that left knee down. Right arm reaches up. You can stay here. Lift the right leg up if you'd like. Or even take a hold of the right big toe. Stretch up. So giving us a bit of a challenge here. See how you face it. See what stories you're telling yourself in your head. Take an inhale. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Sink the knees down wide, hips to heels. And child's pose. Keep the arms activated, palms pressing into the earth, hips back. can sigh it out if you need. Two more breaths. Come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Press back, downward facing dog. Let's lift the right leg up behind. Press the right heel towards the ceiling. Palms into the earth, left heel down. Bend the right knee, stack the right hip open over the left. You can draw some circles here with the right knee if you want. You can also just stay still. Draw in the opposite direction as well. And step the right foot through between the hands. Set the left heel down nice and wide, and we windmill up to warrior two. So we're getting into the hips here. Stretch the arms out nice and long, sink into the right knee. Shoulders down the back. So nice strong posture, really opening in the groin area, pressing down through all corners of the feet, sink deeper into the right knee. We stay here for some time. So what can you learn? What can you learn about yourself in this position? What can you learn as your muscles begin to shake and the arms begin to heat up? And this is Virabhadrasana 2, this posture, the warrior posture. Virabhadra was a great warrior created by Shiva. So can you feel your warrior energy here, or do you just want to quit? Nothing is wrong with either, but can you stay? Can you breathe? Each breath moving in and out of the nostrils, staying with the focal point. Focus. Adapt, strengthen, learn. And modify in ways that will allow you to stay. So instead of just exiting, how do I stay with this challenge in my body, in my circumstances? Sink deeper. Be here. Be in the tremble, be in the heat. Straighten the right leg. Left hand down the back leg, right arm stretching up and over, beautiful. Get nice and long. You can look at the left ankle here. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth, plank position. Lower halfway, elbows in by the ribs. Inhale forward to the tops of the feet. Open the chest. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, our upward facing dog. Exhale, use the core, tuck the toes under, draw the hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Beautiful. So see, when we have those little bits of challenge, we can make it through. Inhale, lift the left leg. Bend the left knee and begin to draw circles or stay in stillness. You know where we're going. Move in the opposite direction. Let it feel good. Inhale, lift it up behind you. Exhale, step the left foot through, right heel goes down nice and wide. And we come into warrior two. Challenge yourself, sink in even deeper to that left knee. Really press down through the feet so we're not just dumping in the hips. So have integrity here. Everything is activated and working. Shoulders down the back, arms are strong. So if I were to come to your house right now and push your arms down, there would be resistance back. We're activated. We are warriors in this position. Sink deeper, find that focal point, stay with the breath, breathing in. I am aware that I am breathing in.
And breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. Straighten the left leg. Stretch the left arm up overhead, right arm down the back leg. Look towards the right ankle to create space for the neck. Nice and long through the left side body. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step back plank. Lower halfway with the elbows in by the ribs. Inhale forward to the tops of the feet. Open the heart space. Exhale, lift the hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Slowly walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Come up halfway, hands to shins. And exhale, fold. Hands to the lower back. Make a fist. Press the fist up overhead. If you need that towel or strap, take it. And slowly begin to lift the chest. Keep the bind coming all the way up to standing. Open the heart, look up. And exhale, unbind. Tadasana, hands alongside the body. And just land. Try not to fidget too much. Just stay here, grounding down through the feet. Shoulders relaxed, feeling proud and strong. And close our practice again with the flute. And I'm still learning this flute, but I don't mind. I have a vikalpa from my past that I am not a singer, I'm not a musician, and I realize we all are musicians. We're all aspects of art in life. And just keeping the eyes closed, staying in your internal process. Let the imperfections of the sound just ground you in your own imperfections and the beauty in them, the playfulness, the curiosity. And we can only know what we're capable of if we drop the stories, the negative stories that we're not enough, that we're not worthy, that we can't do this, we can't do that, and we just try. Each day we try. Hands to heart center, bowing head to heart. And the curious being within me honors the curious being within each of you. Deep love to your darkness and your light. Namaste.